Okay, so here goes my first ever postcast. It's not really a podcast, it's not in a series, it's just looking at the posts that I do on phil4.com. I am Christian Jacques Bennett, also known as Cian. Cian is obviously short for Christian, and it's great to be with you here on this first postcast. So let's get straight into Why I Love Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk and Hell, Why I Love Gary, full stop. So yesterday it finally happened. I don't know why it took so long. It took years, but somehow I managed to avoid reading it until yesterday. I finished Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Crush It. And I think it's good if I just skip straight to the end of that book, because that's the part where Gary gave such. If you're reading the post, you'll realize where I'm laughing, because it did. It gave me such a metaphorical hard on because I got so excited in the way he said it and what he has to say. I love Gary's style. He's just so straight to the point, no BS. Love it. And he mentions in the audiobook, which I was listening to, on point 21 of Appendix A, which is titled, Did You Forget Anything? He says that you should enjoy the ride. Now, this is what he says word for word. I wish I could do a brilliant impression of you, Gary, but I can't, so I'll just use my voice. Here we go. So, please enjoy the ride. The process is greater than the results. The process is greater than the things you buy. You don't need 60-inch TV screens. You don't need a boat. You don't need a private jet. What you need to do is be in a place where you wake up and are happy. You are not living for Friday night because you don't have to work the weekends. You are not fighting to save money for vacations because that's the happiest you are. I love that. It's just so, it's exactly, if you've lived a life where you've had so many days of working in jobs that you don't like, you've lived that sort of dream that society gives you where you've got to find your happiness by sort of going on holidays and things. And obviously you can be happy on holiday, but what Gary's saying is, don't live your life and base your happiness on things that you haven't actually experienced yet. Yes, when you get there and you're experiencing it, having a holiday, of course it's going to be great fun. But actually right now, in this moment, when you're going through the process, it's the time when you should also keep in mind that this is fun. You're actually moving step by step towards what you want to do. And I think it's such a great way to phrase finding contentment in life. And from my perspective, because obviously I founded Feel 4, what I love about these wise words is the fact they resonate with the practice of Feel 4. So let me just remind you of what Feel 4's main mission is. So Feel 4's core mission is to make you feel better by improving every situation you face and enabling you to succeed at any goal you set yourself. So in a nutshell, this mission and what Gary is saying, they seem to go hand in hand. See, practicing Feel 4 daily leads you down paths that are all about the ride and learning to enjoy it. This is one of the key things that the Feel 4 steps generate. A feeling of improving, of attaining your goals day by day. In fact, the formula goes on to promote that even when you attain your goal, you should run back through the steps again and again to keep on improving your results. I mean, hell, why not? The journey is as much fun as the achievement of the goal. And that's exactly what Gary is trying to say. And it's honestly, if you can listen to one thing from that whole book, listen to that. Enjoy the ride. So let me have a look here at how we can use a Feel 4 path to digest the book, Crush It. So let's have a look at the 4 steps. So Feel 4, if you don't know, stands for 4 steps: to focus, energize, engage, and to learn. So let's break down the book, Crush It. So focus. Right now, I am focused on sharing the key tips of the book, Crush It, and what it teaches you. I feel energized to do this because I, I'm really scared about saying this because it comes across so corny and cheesy at times. But there are people in the world that really do actually give a damn. Gary would probably say who do give a shit or whatever. But I don't tend to swear a lot. But it's true. I'm really, really pumped for this because I want to share the knowledge that I learn, especially from people like Gary who have proved themselves successful. I want to share it with other people and spread that word so that they can also live a contented life. So I'm focused on sharing you the key tips from the book Crush It. I'm energized to do so because I really, really want you to take those lessons and to have a contented life. If you can literally step away from this post, step away from the book Crush It after you've read it, and then in like 6 months' time or sooner, you can start to say, do you know what? I really feel better for this. Then that's my core aim personally and for Feel 4. So going on to the final steps of the Feel 4 formula to analyze the book, we engage and learn. So these are the things you need to engage with to crush it. And this is what Gary says. So I paraphrased a bit, so some things are slightly different, but some things are word for word. So number one, identify your passion. Number two, make sure you can think of at least 50 awesome blog topics to ensure stickiness. This is all about getting your business, your passion out there so that you can reward from it. And this is important. You can get rewards from it emotionally. It's not just about financially. If you're actually doing this for the money, then that alarm bell should be ringing. You shouldn't be doing it. You should be wanting to do this for free. That's the thing about passion. It's an overused word, but you really should be just like waking up thinking, I just want to do this right now. And then you're on the right path. And so getting at least 50 awesome blog topics on that passion of yours to ensure what Gary calls stickiness, making sure that people know what your message is and they can find out what your message is through reading those blog topics. Now, number three, answer the following questions. So, am I sure my passion is what I think it is? Can I talk about it better than anyone else, or at least the top 10? Now, I won't go too much into these questions because I want you to read the book Crush It, because that's the whole point of this postcast. It's got so many valuable bits of information that this is just obviously the final sort of run through of, have you understood the book? So yes, please go and get the book, and you can do so from the post on Feel 4. There's links on that. So number 4, name your personal brand. Now, you don't have to refer to it anywhere in your content, but you should have a clear idea of what it is. For example, the no BS real estate agent, or the connoisseur of cookware, or the cool guide to young adult books boys love to read. Number 5, buy your username, .com or .tv. And I've also added in here that with domain names, it depends, because if you are a charity and that's your passion, then maybe .org is going to be a better fit for you. So use your common sense there. The point of this is literally buy your domain name. Now, number 6, choose your medium, video, audio, written word, or you can use all of them. Be clear about what your medium is. If it's all of them, that's fine. Just make sure you can get your message out there for people to know what your passion is and how you can help them. Number 7, start a WordPress or Tumblr blog. Basically, start a blog with the most popular and best blogging platform of the current day, because things do change a lot. Medium is a really good one right now. So choose your blogging platform wisely, and obviously make sure it fits your style and what you want to use. Number 8, hire a designer. Now, what Gary is saying here is, obviously, if you're a designer yourself, great, go for it. But sometimes you need to understand, if you want to be successful, that you should tap into other people's skill set. So if you've got a designer, for example, that is crushing it, so things like Headspace, the designer there, oh God, I've forgotten his name. Sorry, I would like to credit you, but if you go to Headspace, you'll have details on who designs it, or if you do a Google search. His designs basically have made Headspace. They're fantastic. So why not go out there? And I put some suggestions to sites called Freelancer and Upwork and Fiverr. That's where you can find designers fairly easily. So number 9, include a Facebook Connect link, call to action buttons, share functions, and a button that invites people to do business with you in a prominent place in your blog. So this is just the obvious. When people arrive on your blog, on your website, is there a button that just says, contact me, I can help you with, and then obviously your passion. So if your passion is dog walking, I can help you with walking your dog, just do the obvious. Number 10, create a Facebook fan page. Hopefully that speaks for itself. Number 11, sign up to the latest trending websites that allow you to distribute your content, choosing things like Twitter or on Facebook. That's imperative because those two obviously are used a lot. Instagram is another one. These will change again in time. So if you're listening to this in 30 years' time, I'm sure there'll be different holographic social network things you can use. Select according to your needs and preferences. Number 12, post your content. Again, let's not forget the obvious, post your content. Number 13, start creating a community by leaving comments on other people's blogs, forums, and replying to comments on your own blog. Now, let me just give you a tip from myself here because I am starting out a journey here we're in our fairly early stages with Fill4.com and Fill4 the brand. So this is very much one that I'm aware of. And I think the key thing, if I can share with you my lessons learned, is just keep going because it can feel so sort of, you can get down, if you're leaving a lot of comments or you feel like I haven't, at the end of, if you're doing other work as well, at the end of a day, you're thinking, I don't really want to add comments. But the point is, when you're really passionate, if you feel that you are making a difference in helping people, again, if you are on that right path, it doesn't feel too much of an obstacle to do it. So that's a good gauge, leaving comments, to know whether you are actually pursuing your correct passion. Because I was leaving comments, I've had other ideas which I've tried to sort of leave comments on before, and I sort of ran out of steam. Whereas Fill4, I just feel like I'm on fire. I'm just desperate to get into forums and let people know what Fill4 can do. And obviously, with something as new as Fill4, people are like, "What the hell is he talking? Fill4? What does that stand for? What does it mean?" Obviously, I know, and it's trying to and it's a great lesson to yourself to understand how other people can perceive what you're trying to say. So I recommend that you just keep pursuing leaving comments even when you feel knackered, but also to use it as a gauge that, hey, hang on, are you feeling knackered because you've actually done a 14-hour shift and you've just come in, you don't really fancy leaving a comment? Or is it because you don't really feel that passionate about what you're saying? So let's move on to number 14. Use Twitter search to find as many people as possible talking about your topic and communicate with them. It's a great way to find out basically those who share the same interests as your passion, and it's a brilliant way to connect with them. You can also use Google. There are other searches you can use, but Gary specifically mentions Twitter search. So number 15, use blogsearch.google.com in Gary's words. But again, you can just search Google. I think that actually defaults to Google now. You can use this to find more blogs that are relevant to your subject matter. Number 16, join as many active Facebook pages and groups relating to your topic as you can. This one, I'm stepping in, going off script here a little bit. I've done that as well. I must admit, sometimes you do have to pick and choose. In terms of my lessons learned there, Facebook groups aren't always that, well, some of them you join, they're not as engaging as you would like. So make sure you're finding out which ones actually do have people in them that sort of respond to your comments. And as usual, make sure that if you're adding comments anywhere on the website, in a Facebook group or on anyone else's blog, make sure that what you're leaving is some really incredible sort of information. And I say incredible, I'm not actually overusing that word. Try and make sure that when you leave, your brand, if you like, the message of your brand, that people are going, oh my God, I didn't realize that. I want to find out more. Who is this guy? And they look then for your link to click back to your own website. So number 17, repeat steps. I love this. You've got to listen to Audible when Gary says this. So number 17, repeat steps 12 through 16 over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then number 18, do it again. Number 19, and again. I love it, because Gary's obviously saying here, guys, this is difficult. It's not always going to be a case of you do this and you instantly get traction and then, wow, everything's successful. Obviously, by some miracle, or in some cases that can happen if you've already got some celebrity fame. But just make sure that if you want to crush it, which is the name of the book, you have to have this spirit where you just absolutely go for it. And again, if you are passionate about what you do, that's going to shine through to people. It's going to help give you the energy. Going back to Feel 4, you will feel energized naturally. You'll be in a state to want to get to your goals. So number 20, when you feel your personal brand has gained sufficient attention and stickiness, start reaching out to advertisers and begin monetizing. Number 21, enjoy the ride. Now, this is what I've mentioned at the top of my blog post on fullstop.com. Enjoy the ride. And Gary obviously says it very well. He explains it well. And rewind through this postcast if you want to listen to it, or visit the blog at fullstop.com. So crush it. It's a book which I'm actually keeping off my bookshelf. A lot of people say, I'll keep it. It's on my bookshelf, but I want it off because I want to actually tap back into all of this knowledge Gary shares with you in the book. And what's so refreshing as well, some books, they just waffle on and on, but Gary's like, you listen to it and it's almost like having a cold shower. You actually feel, you feel wide awake at the end of it. It's like, yeah, damn it, I've got to crush it. So I'm going to keep that off my bookshelf, and I'm going to be listening to it, as I've already done this morning. I've listened to parts of it because I've got an Audible, basically as much as I can, because I just want that stuff to become a natural habit in my brain. So when I sort of think, what do I have to do? I just know automatically. So as a bonus to my blog post, I also have another video from Gary, which shows you how to find your happiness, how to find your path to happiness. And it's interesting that he uses that title because Feel 4 is all about creating paths when you focus, energize, engage, and learn. So I thought that was very apt. And it's very much, it's well worth watching that video on the post. I hope this was all helpful to you. This is, and I'm not joking or lying, this is my first ever take. I haven't stopped this at all. It's my first ever, postcast. So I just want to thank you so much for listening. Please take a look at the website, feel4.com. It's been great having you, finding out all the information that Gary has to share as well. Thank you so much, and I hope you tune in for some more postcasts.